Namaste, Salam Sajatra. Friends, I hope you're enjoying watching the oral history of Indian diaspora in Indonesia. In this episode, we featured Srimati Poonam Sagar. Srimati Poonam Sagar is also the founder of IndoIndians. And this is the 25th anniversary of IndoIndians. So, on this special occasion, we thought of featuring Srimati Poonam Sagar. Srimati Poonam Sagar's story in Indonesia is an inspiration for everyone, particularly for trailing spouses. Spouses who come to this country wondering what to do because it is not easy to find employment or purpose in a foreign land. Poonam Sagar is not only a very, very well-educated person with many talents, but she has indomitable spirit. When she came here, she turned the adverse situation in our favor, and she proposes, as you will see in the episode, several options for trailing spouses. I think all of us will enjoy watching this episode and see how Poonam ji overcome the challenges and has today become a very, very successful member of the Indian community and taking India's culture, India's messages to Indonesians and becoming an important bridge between Indonesia and India.
Namaste Poonam ji.
Namaskar.
Welcome to another episode of Oral History of Indian Diaspora in Indonesia. Thank you so much for making time and joining us. Let's start the conversation with where are your roots in India and how was it growing up and when did you come to Indonesia?
Thanks, Vipin, for having us on the show. And it's a tricky question about where I am from India because my dad was in the armed forces, Indian armed forces. So we've moved all over India from north to south, west to east. And so it has given me a greater appreciation of what India is, its languages, the culture, the people. So I would say I'm just Indian. I'm not from anywhere
Sure.
as such. And then we moved to Indonesia in 1991. And we moved because my husband moved here to start his own business. And we moved here in 91 and the rest is history.
Nice. So, talk about your family back in India. Your father was in army.
Yes.
Your mother was working or she was?
My mother is an artist. So she learned art from the JJ School of Arts in Mumbai. And then she taught art and craft in various schools across India. Because everywhere my dad was posted, she would, find a job as an art and craft teacher. So that's how it is. I have two brothers. And both my brothers are doctors. The elder of the two is professor neurosurgery at All India Institute of Medical Sciences.
Wow.
My younger brother is a doctor in the UK with the NHS.
And what did you study?
So I'm the black sheep of the family. I did not become a doctor. So I have 3 master's degrees. I have one in biochemistry, one MBA, and one master's in computers.
Wow. Okay. That's a lot for a black sheep.
Yes, it's just because I'm very curious and I've watched my dad do his master's in Churjika, which is the highest qualification in neurosurgery, when I was in grade 10. And he used to stay up all night studying and he used to work the whole day. And I said, I don't want to be a doctor if it entails so much hard work.
So your father was a doctor in the military?
Yes. He's a neurosurgeon. He was, because in the army also you have all kinds of cases. So
Sure. And the Indonesia movement which happened in 1991, you had any idea about what is Indonesia, what you're getting into? How was that transition like?
Coming from a very not knowing background, because we didn't know where Indonesia was also. And it was an opportunity. And the one thing that the army does teach you is to be very resilient, very adaptable, and ready to face challenges. And that's exactly what I did when I came here.
Sure.
And it was challenging on many parts because when I moved here, my son was just 2 months old. So it was like coming to a new country, new language, new role as a parent, and everything was brand new. So
And you guys moved to Jakarta?
Moved to Jakarta, yes.
Okay. You just paint a picture for us of 1991's Jakarta.
When I first reached here, it was a big surprise because I was given to believe that it's in the middle of a jungle. It's a tropical jungle. And so when I moved here, there were skyscrapers, there were toll roads, there were malls, and the houses were very nice. People were very incredibly nice, although I didn't understand them, what they said. But it took some time to get used to. Every morning it used to be hot. Every afternoon it would rain. But all the modern amenities were available here. And it was at that time, it was a booming economy.
Sure.
It was a tiger economy. And if you went to any building or any office at that time, it was fabulous. You know, they had these Italian granite floors, and there was the latest at that time.
Sure. But how was it? Was it very difficult to adjust because you have a newborn and then you're settling into a new city? What were some of the challenges apart from the language?
So language was a big challenge. The second big challenge was to know where is what and what is going on, because the internet had just come in. This was 91, and there was not enough information online. Secondly, there was no information in English online about Indonesia. And thirdly, I couldn't communicate. I didn't know people. I couldn't communicate to them. And when I asked my husband, because he knew a little bit of Bahasa, he had come a few months before me. And so he said, here's the dictionary, use it. So basically, my maids taught me how to speak Bahasa Indonesia, and it's so nice of them. And through them, I learned more about Indonesia and what kind of people, and their generosity amazed me. Not with me per se, but with their friends and how they behaved with people here.
Sure. Purely from an expat perspective, I mean, starting up in Indonesia back in the 90s, what was there a large diaspora to support in? How was that?
I don't know what bigger diaspora there was, because when we came here, we just knew two other families.
Okay.
And those were...
Where in Jakarta were you staying when you first moved?
At Fairbanks in Senayan.
Okay.
And there were some Indian families there who we got to know, and that was our first port of call. And we knew them. And there was not much interaction with the local Indian diaspora. For some reason, there was not enough. And I think what you're leading to, Bipin, is why did I start Indo-Indians is because of this very same reason, because of this feeling of disconnect, feeling like I'm just disconnected from people in Indonesia. And my effort was just to provide information.
Let's talk about that as well, right? I mean, the journey of building Indo-Indians, that's one segment which I want to cover. But before that, I want to talk about your professional journey apart from Indo-Indians, because I believe you started professionally before that.
Yes.
Right, in Indonesia. So let's talk about both. Were you working already in India when you moved here?
Yes, I was working for HCL.
Okay.
Marketing job at that time, and I was also doing...
Where was this?
In Chandigarh.
In Chandigarh, okay.
Yeah, I did my management from Punjab University.
Sure.
And there I was working for some time at HCL. And then I stopped working and I did my first entrepreneurial venture there called Prakriti.
Okay.
So I was renting plants to offices. You know, in India,
renting plants to offices.
Yes.
Okay.
So in India, we have this very nice thing of having plants in offices.
Correct.
And you can't put a plant in the office and forget about it. It has to be refreshed. It needs sunlight and water and taking care of.
True.
And I had a huge balcony, so I had plants there, and every Saturday we would go and change plants in the offices. That was my first venture. And from Chandigarh, we moved to Jakarta in 91. And, you know, I made more money from selling those plants than from all the renting that But that was my first entrepreneurial venture, and I quite enjoyed it because it went through the whole cycle. You had to go marketing, you had to go convincing people to keep your plants and delivering what you promised. So that was the first one. But then when I came to Indonesia, there were no jobs for trailing spouses. It was a tough thing. So how to get a work permit, where to work, and all that. So that's when I did my master's in computers.
Okay, so you used that time To upskill rather.
Yes, I used that time to upskill, and then I joined Rajat at our IT company, and so I wasn't paid for two years. So I just
We need to speak to Rajat on this. We need to get him also to compensate you.
no, because what I learned was invaluable. You know, to integrate with the staff there, to understand the language, to understand the people, and of course, what is working in a tech company all about?
Yeah.
From a programming perspective, from delivering projects perspective,
Hmm.
and then after that is when started contributing to the business.
Okay. When do you think that journey started where you were actually contributing to the business, and what was the scope of it in terms of what was your role per se?
Yeah. So I didn't work till 96, 97. And after that, I did 2 years of learning by doing. And then I started, actually I took hold of, like the year 2000, we set up a small web division.
Okay.
That is when the e-commerce, the .com bust
happened.
Yes. But we were very optimistic about the internet. And we said, there's no way it is not going to grow.
Yeah.
So we set up a web division, and I took ownership to grow the web division. And because we had the people and we had the skills and we had the vision, so we also said, let's do IndoIndians. So we used what we have. So from its inception, IndoIndians has been funded by the company. Yes.
Let's talk about the Indo-Indians journey, right? I mean, the why is very clear.
Yeah.
It has come from your own experiences, right? But I personally feel it has taken a shape which I don't think so you intended it to. I mean, the grandeur of it and the directions in which it has gone, right? So let's talk about that journey as well, because I have been uh, part of a lot of Indo-Indians event, and we keep speaking as well, right? But I want to understand how it has grown into uh, different segments rather, right? Be it for art, be it for culture, be it for business. So let's talk more about that aspect of Indo-Indians.
Sure. So I like to think of Indo-Indians as a very organic being. It grows based on requirements. As there is a need, it grows. Like during the pandemic, it really supported the diaspora here in India, in Indonesia. So there was, when people couldn't move out of their houses, there was very little connect. That's where Indo-Indians stepped in to provide online events, online connection, online doctor consultation, you name it. Everything was done online, and it really supported the people there. You're talking about the artist community. Yes, we have almost 40 artists on the Indo-Indians art community. It has grown into various little interest groups, which is great. We have lots of WhatsApp groups, which are like very dynamic. Yeah, we have social media, YouTube. In fact, when in the early days, 2005, 2006, I teamed up with Sachin Gopalan, and we had QTV at that time.
Okay.
And on QTV, we did almost 26 episodes of India Talks.
Oh, wow.
So we would interview all the...
It's still there on YouTube?
It's on YouTube. Some of them are on YouTube, yeah. So we interviewed all the Indian who's who at that time on QTV, which was very interesting. It was interesting to meet all of them there. In fact, Mr. Ralhan, Mr. Ram, they were all been on that show. So that was very interesting. So it's now a full circle.
Full circle, yeah. It's just that you're on the other side.
Yeah. So that was very interesting. And as far as what my vision for Indo-Indians is, everything to do with India should be there. So I'm not saying I want to go and do cultural events, I want to do this event, that event. No. This should be a place for information. Anybody wants to do anything, we support you. Put your information on Indo-Indian so it's available to everyone. Let it be the place where people can get authentic, genuine and correct information of what's happening with the Indian diaspora in Indonesia, as well as for Indonesians to connect with the Indian diaspora in a valuable, impactful manner. whether it be culture, whether it be business, whether it be in any other format whatsoever.
Sure. Sure. No, that's wonderful. I mean, it has been a very helpful platform, not only to me, but a lot of friends of mine also. So thank you so much for doing
Thank
that.
you. Thank you. Thank you for saying that.
One question I think which we have briefly touched upon in the past when we have been having conversation is something which I wanted to bring up is what advice would you give for spouses who are coming to Indonesia? Because as you mentioned, it was very difficult back in the 90s. I don't want to compare eras, but I'm pretty certain it's still very difficult.
It is.
Right. And a lot of them are very well educated. A lot of them have left their jobs back in India and have come and settled over here. And then they're going through this transition and they get very anxious. They start feeling very rusty
Correct.
with their skill sets and more. Right.
Absolutely. You're very
So,
right.
yeah. So what do you think? I mean, and I mean, those skill sets can be used in Indonesia. It's definitely there. The talent crunch is there. So there's definitely that fitment which is available. But for some reason, I see that gap is not fulfilled yet. So why do you think so? That is one. And how do you think we can solve for it?
So, Bipin, it's a very valid question and it's real. Many of the spouses that come here are very well educated, very talented. They all had great jobs wherever they were prior to coming to Jakarta. When they come here as on a dependent visa, it becomes very difficult to find a job or do anything that earns them any revenue.
Yeah.
So, in my opinion and experience, the first thing is to look out to volunteer. See where can your create a network of where you can find your skills and talents useful. That is just one part of it, to create a network. But now in this day and age, there's so many jobs that are remote. So, get a remote job. I personally know many spouses who are doing remote jobs in Jakarta, which is a real option now.
True.
So there's remote jobs. Then there are jobs, but you see, we are competing against the local population as well.
Of course.
And then as an expat, you have a right as well as you expect a different salary and a different expectation to the other people that are available in it. So that is the main reason for the gap. Are you willing to work at local salaries and packages? If yes, there are jobs. It's not that the jobs are not there, but that expectation should be managed. Manage your expectation. Volunteer, upskill. There's so many places to now with online courses, you can keep upskilling.
Sure.
Yeah. And then you can also become visiting, you can share your knowledge here.
True. No, fair points. Very fair points. Let's talk about a bit of your personal life, right? So how many kids do you have?
I have 2 children, a son and a daughter. Both of them have now independent. They are both working overseas.
Overseas.
Yeah.
Okay. And they're married?
My daughter's married.
Okay. So you've got grandkids?
Not yet.
Not yet. That's one duty which is pending.
It is the children's duty, not mine.
Clear. Okay. So how do you keep yourself this motivated? I mean, you've been a high achiever academically, now with the community, and then the IT company, which is PT Infotech, where you also actively contribute. I honestly sometimes envy the energy which you bring every time at every event wherever I see you. So what is the core of it? I mean, is it the ambition or what is the motivation behind this?
I think it is because you live only once.
Okay.
So whatever you need to do, jo karna hai, you have to do it now. And life should not be, you should not have any regrets. I wish I had done that. Do it. So that is my philosophy.
So your philosophy is extremely clear on this one.
Yeah.
Okay. Towards the last part of the segment now, with our chats, I want you to give a very candid, clear advice for Indians who are now coming to Indonesia. It's a very different world compared to when you were here.
Yes.
And you personally experienced so many stories, good and bad.
And bad. Yes.
Right. So let's talk about that as well, right? What is your advice for someone who's planning to move in now or who has just moved into Indonesia?
Good question, Bipin, because there is advice and there is personal opinion.
Sure.
I think as Indians coming to Indonesia, we have a superpower. We have centuries of culture. We have centuries of adaptability, resilience that we bring with us, right? We are all representatives of India.
Sure.
And to the person we meet who are non-Indians, we are representing India. So how we show up is how India is to them.
True.
So that is something that we should always keep at the back of our mind when we interact with people who are not Indian, because we are representing India. And, when we come to Indonesia, there's so much to learn. Even in the briefest time, you will learn that people in Indonesia are far more patient, they're far more polite, and they are far more accepting. And these are all things that we should imbibe. Because me personally, like you mentioned, you have so much energy, this, that, but that's also part of our Indian upbringing, I think.
Yes.
We are always in a race. We want to do more. We want to get ahead. I think this is our upbringing. And when we come to Indonesia, it is a time to listen, to appreciate what's around us, to accept and be grateful. I think these are things that we have to intentionally do while we are here.
True. What are some absolute no-nos, right? Not to be done at all. I'm coming from perspective that you have spent that much time and you have been in active interactions with a lot of folks who are coming in, right? So think of this as a guidebook of sorts, an Indo-Indian guidebooks of not to of what
Never break down in anger. Because the moment you break down in anger at any place, that is the end of any negotiation or any relationship. Be it your staff member, you just can't display your anger. So that is a big no-no.
A lot of us have learned it the hard way doing this. No, but I absolutely agree. What's the next chapter for Indo-Indians, right? What are your other ambitions with Indo-Indians in terms of its growth and activities?
So at this moment, there is no overarching ambition as such. It is just providing more, connecting more pieces of the puzzle to Indo-Indians. So for example, we've just launched a jobs board to add to the service, because many people would send me resumes or they would say, oh, I'm looking for a job. Can you help me? So going forward on that, we thought it would be easier and more suitable if we just created a jobs board.
Yeah, it's integrated either ways with overall theme.
Correct. We've also started a ticketing platform for events, because that makes things much easier.
Sure.
And going forward, like I mentioned to you, I would like to see Indo-Indians be more, used by every other Indian organization or committee or small community based on religion or based on language or region that they come from, to use Indo-Indians as their spokesperson, to put their information there. Everything is there. Just everything about India, put it on Indo-Indians. That's my vision.
Great. Thank you so much, Poonam ji, for doing this. It was really lovely talking to you.
Thank you.
Best of luck.
Thank you, Vipin.
Thank you.